Iowa State, 3-point underdogs to Kansas State. The total is 50. Lante, tell me what you're thinking about this one. This is an August 23rd start, so we're only a couple days away.
Yep. Yeah, man, this is a really good game to start off in Ireland. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like that it's in Ireland. They rather it be,
Yes,
campus
Dublin,
sites. But
Ireland, as the kickoff
yeah,
would be. Different type of football over there.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think this is going to be a great game. Two good teams. If you really look at a historical landscape, Iowa State's been owning them as of late. They've won four of the last five, including last year. They won 29-21 at home. Both quarterbacks struggled in the game. Both quarterbacks are returning in this specific spot. Iowa State was 11-3 last year, most wins in school history. They also get 12 starters back. Kansas State on the other side were 9-4 last year. But where it really matters is they were 4-9 ATS, so it didn't make people a lot of money. They probably should have been a little bit better. They outgained 12 of the 13 opponents, but probably looking to buy on Kansas State this year and in this specific game. Just keep in mind that this line's been up for months, so it's probably shaped to be the sharpest that it's going to get. I still got a little bit of value in. I made the number 4, so Kansas State -3 is probably a good bet for me. The one thing that I'm looking at in this specific matchup is the offense of Iowa State. Like, can Rocco Beck carry the load? He had 3,500 yards last year, 25 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. The issue is 2,377 yards that he had went to Jalen Noel and Jayden Higgins. They're both not there. They're both in the NFL. I think, ironically, they played for the Houston Texans together. So, like, can Rocco Beck capitalize on what I think is a pretty good defensive line, defensive front, but the secondary for Kansas State is a bit of a concern. They lost 4 of their top 5. So they bring Iowa State bring in some transfers, but can they withstand the pressure that Kansas State's going to apply up front? I don't think they can. They don't really run the ball a ton. I mean, they have some running backs, but like I talked about, their air attack is really what kind of got them to that 11-win mark. And I like Kansas State's front. They got good D line depth. I love the linebacking core. They got an All American and Austin Romaine at the linebacker position. And if Avery Johnson can, thrive under a new system, he's got Matt Wells in, who's going to be more tempo, more misdirection. If Avery can improve with his passing, if the wide receivers can improve, I think this is a good Kansas State team. I'm looking to buy on them a little bit early, so I like the -3 here.
All right, so we got two ranked teams. I think we've got probably enough time to dive deep a little more deeply into this one. I'm curious about a line on obviously very neutral field. I can't
Yep.
imagine we're going to see or that you assign much home field advantage for
Nope, none at
Kansas
all.
State and
Zero.
Iowa State in the center of the United States, heading across the country for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. Not sure you've ever flown Aer Lingus. I think I've flown it once. I'm
No, I
not
never have.
sure. I'm not sure if it's like Spirit Airlines necessarily, but seems definitely like one of those cheap carriers over there. But I guess they've got enough to sponsor a college football game. Can't imagine the return on investment on that one. But like Matt Campbell to me was a huge name in college football circles as being the next big thing as a head coach. What is your opinion on him? So clearly an underdog in this opener. You're liking the value on K-State as a 3-point favorite to your 4. But to me, it seems like neutral field, it's hard for me sometimes to give a whole field goal to a favorite. So I'm curious your thoughts on Matt Campbell, if you're maybe not as a big of a believer, or maybe I guess the luster has kind of worn off that diamond in the last couple of years.
Well, I like Mike Campbell. He is to me like I think that 11-win season really kind of was the ceiling of what he can be. Obviously, 11 wins is a lot of football games to win. A
Sure.
little bit fortunate though; they were 5-1 in one possession games, which is why I think that they'll come back down to their level. I think the level that Matt Campbell has them, and he's been consistent in this, is between 7 and 9 wins. So I think they're typically between a 7 and 9 win team. Now, a lot of that was early on where he could kind of build up some of these guys and develop them like a Rocco Beck. But now with the roster turnover, it's going to be kind of hard to do that. And I think they regress a little bit. Although, I mean, that doesn't say much. Campbell is still a good coach. But I also think on the other side, Kansas State has a pretty good coach as well, a pretty good coaching staff. I know they bring in, Matt Wells as a new OC, but they got some continuity there. But overall, I think Matt Campbell is a good coach. I think this. I'm not as high on Iowa State as I am Kansas State. So that's really where my difference is. I don't really put a ton of stock in home field advantage overall, whether that's playing on campus or not. I don't really think through the years home field advantage has kind of deflated a little bit. throughout all leagues. I think we can in all sports. I think basketball, football, whether that's college or pro. I think home field is a little bit overvalued in some sense. So I didn't put a ton of home field in it at all. I didn't put any in it at all. Just a straight, this power rating minus this power rating, and
Yep.
you factor in a little bit of advantages for each side. And I think Kansas City was the side that came out on.
Got it. So we'll move now to don't think I have anything more to poke you
Yeah,
about
yeah,
with
no, we're
Matt
good.
Campbell. I mean, it's that just seems like a name to me that was so popular and maybe from my time as a Texas alum in the Big 12, I just never really got it because it was always one of those scary games for Texas. And I felt like Iowa State, even though UT, of course, always had more talent, blah, 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 but never really played to it. Iowa State just never seemed to be a big threat to me.